I am Dr. Nick, the Apostle Paul's messenger in this 21st century world.
What message would the Apostle Paul deliver to a 21st century American audience if he were alive today?
The author has written
an open letter about creation and life. By trusting God in the miracle of new life.
Greetings, this is Dr. Nick, and this is my 10th episode. Now, it's going to be a little bit different than my normal episodes. Normal episode, I would give some information about a certain subject, okay? But this is the second time in the 10 episodes that I've recorded that I will be speaking more from my heart and my experience and my concerns, especially for young women taking the abortion pill. Okay, the last 3 episodes have been about the abortion pill. In episode 7, and I would ask you to go back and listen, please, is the history of the abortion pill from 1980 through the year 2000. In episode 8, it's the political history, I should say, of the abortion pill from 2000 to 2025. The 9th episode was information about the pills themselves, what those pills do, how do you obtain the pills, what happens to your body when you're taking the pills, what happens as part of the process of aborting a unplanned pregnancy taking place. And in understanding all of that has happened, and I would really encourage you to go back and listen to 7, 8, and 9, then you'll understand what I'm saying here in 10. My concern specifically is for young women. This medication, it can be received or somebody can give it to you on the open market, on the black market. It doesn't have to be prescribed by a doctor. You can go on the internet and you can order it. It'll be sent to your home. You don't have to see a doctor before you take it. And I think these are all dangers, especially for a young woman, say 16, 17, 18 to maybe the early 20s, that have never had an unplanned pregnancy, that have never had a situation where abortion now is an option that they would like to find out about or to do, basically. And the ordeal they have to go through is very, very rigorous. And there's some issues here that I think are really important for you to know. One is that the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, did not perform clinical trials in their normal manner on the abortion pill, mifepristone. Okay, they only performed the trials for about a period of 6 months, as opposed to what is normally considered 6 years before they approve of a medication going out on the marketplace. The other thing is that in normal situations, in trying to test any drug, in the case of the abortion pill, there was only $8 million spent to go through the testing. So $8 million, and then $92 million never spent on testing it. And one of the things that they didn't test was the effect this drug is going to have on women having children in the future. They didn't do a study over a period of time and track women and track their ability to conceive in the future. Because one of the things this drug does, it destroys the woman's progesterone. That's a natural hormone that is processed by the woman, especially when she's pregnant, because now that progesterone actually sustains the life of the child. The drug, mifepristone, destroys the progesterone. And because it destroys it, the child will eventually be deceased. And then the woman will be holding a dead child in her uterus. And then her job after that is to expel the child. All this is happening in her home, or in her dorm room, or in some hotel, or at a friend's house. It's not being done in a clinic. It's not being done under medical supervision. It's being done in your house. There have been women, well, at least one that I've read about, and I read a lot about what's going on in these cases. One woman who had 3 children, she went through 3 deliveries, normal labor pains and so forth that women go through. And she said that when she was pregnant for the 4th time, she decided to take the abortion pill. And the second pill that causes the contractions and opens up the cervix so you can expel the dead fetus through the cervix and through your uterus into the toilet. These drugs are so harsh. This woman said that the pain of contractions was worse than anything she experienced in the first 3 situations where she delivered her first 3 children. Now, I can guess probably why, because she probably delivered the first 3 in a hospital, and there was some kind of medical care for her during this time. She could have had an epidural. She could have had anything could have taken place. She could have her spouse next to her, encouraging her, doing all kinds of things. Somebody telling her to breathe. But when you're never experienced contractions, this is the first time, and you're on your toilet. This is such a dangerous situation. It hasn't been tested sufficiently. If you go back and listen to episodes 7 and 8 and 9, it hasn't been tested properly. You're putting a drug in your body. To date, from the year 2000 to 2023, 36 women have died. Now, Planned Parenthood would tell you a lie. They would say that the abortion pill is just as safe as Tylenol. Well, that's absolutely a lie. Because if Tylenol killed 36 people, it would have never made it to 36. They would have taken it off the market long before it ever got to 36 people dying. So women are taking this pill. The other thing is, I have some other statistics here. I don't want to turn this into a statistical discussion, but I think it's important. The information I'm reading to you now is from 2018, but in that 18-year period, now we are now 7 years beyond that. Okay, so in that 18-year period, there were 24 deaths. Now it's 36. Well, in 2023, I don't know the statistics for 24 and 25. They probably haven't been published yet. But that's in the deaths, it's 50% increase. The abortion pill is the number 1 method of abortion today. About 63 to 68% of abortions are with the pill, the chemical abortions. Yet it hasn't been tested sufficiently. It's killed 36 people. Back in 2018, 1,042 individuals who took the pill had to be hospitalized. 599 had to have a blood loss requiring transfusions. Okay. 412 had infections. I could explain some of the reason why there's infections, and serious, severe infections, 69. Now, what would cause an infection? Well, if you had a surgical abortion, if you were in a hospital or a clinic, and I don't suggest that that should ever happen, but I just have to compare the two different environments. There would be a D&C or a D&E on you to make sure that everything that was in the uterus was taken out, that the uterus now is clean of any kind of flesh, any kind of the remains of the dead child is not in you any longer. When you do it in your toilet and you expel it, it's, first of all, it's a bloody mess. You got to clean up afterwards. And there's, the chances of you leaving something in your body have caused sepsis, which is a blood. It's really seriously can kill you. Maybe some of these deaths were a result of it. I think the results of some of the deaths also were what they call ectopic pregnancies. That means the fertilized egg never made it into the uterus. It's got stuck in the fallopian tube or somewhere else in the body that was not the uterus. Sometimes it goes down to the cervix and it gets stuck in the cervix, but you can't really grow and develop it. And what happens is if it's in the fallopian tube, which is a very small tube, the growth of those cells, they're multiplying, will blow up and burst the fallopian tube, and that can cause serious infection. It can even cause death. So some of these women never went for a sonogram before they took the pills. Now, if you're going to really think about taking this pill, please get a sonogram. Make sure you know that it's not an ectopic pregnancy, that is not stuck in your fallopian tubes, because you can die. Some of these women didn't know that. They had no idea what was going on inside their bodies. Please, I beg you, don't take this pill. If you know of anyone, a young person that you think might be involved in this, or you hear that this person, please have them listen to this podcast. It's critical. I'm talking to you from my heart. I am really concerned about young women who are maybe have their first pregnancy, unplanned pregnancy. They're nervous, they're scared, they don't know what to do. Somebody tells them, take the pills, it'll go away. You don't have to go to a I can get you the pills, it won't cost you anything on the black market or whatever. I'll take care of that. Just read the instructions on the box, and then you know how to abort that living fetus inside your uterus. Would you ever do anything like that in order to get rid of a headache? Take a pill that can kill you? Why would you want to take the abortion pill and go through all of that bloody mess? All that pain from the contractions, seeing what you had just let be disposed. The physical and emotional pain that a woman would go through in the future after that would be severe. Women who have had surgical abortions have testified suicidal thoughts, depression, alcoholism. Could you imagine? And they didn't even perform the abortion. The abortionist did. And they have guilt about it. Could you imagine doing it yourself? You're aborting your child yourself. You're seeing it laying in the toilet, floating with all the blood. And then you go press and flush the toilet and seeing that child go down into the sewage system. I think that would have more serious impact on you than a surgical abortion. And I don't propose either one. So I'm going to end. I think I've gotten the point across. Okay. There have been many reports about the dangers of these pills. Let me just read one here that I just happen to have, and then I'll end. This was written by an attorney, Arthur Gallon. He's vice president of Duquesne County Right to Life. And this is national news. A new study from the Ethics and Public Policy Center. I would think this is probably a governmental agency or some kind of a very high level public agency, private agency, published in April 28th, 2025, just a couple of months ago, has found that serious adverse effects from the abortion pill are approximately 22 times more frequent than previously recognized by the Food and Drug Administration. 1 in 10 women who undergo an abortion pill experience serious adverse effects within the 45-day period after they do that, far higher than the rate reported in clinical trials on the drug label. Drug label only reports what they found in that limited trial period. But we're finding out now that there are, in fact, other experiences that people are having with this. And the Food and Drug Administration, the Department of Health and Human Services, which is now run by Robert F. Kennedy, who really is concerned about people's health. And there's attempts to have him take this pill off the market. But politically, people are afraid. They're going to be saying, well, all these girls are going to die. They're going to go back alley abortions. That all that stuff was a lie to begin with. I just want you to know that it is a dangerous procedure to take, and I would ask God, please, to enlighten you and give you the courage to have that child. People have found out that when they have the child, it's added to their life tremendously. Don't be afraid. Stay strong in your faith in God, steadfast in living the truth and knowing the truth and living it out. Be supportive of the sanctity and dignity of every human person from conception to natural death. Just recently, we had a charity affair for kids in foster care. So, there's a lot of situations where kids they're abused, mistreated, and so forth. Please do the right thing. Okay, don't dispose of that child, please. And remember that despite what anybody says to you, you are willed by God. You are not a mistake. God has a specific plan in mind for you, and He will guide you and lead you through your life. God bless, and thank you very much. So thanks for joining me today on Dr. Nick, the Apostle Paul's messenger. I hope this message touches your heart and gives you something to consider. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe so you never miss a conversation, and click that bell. That's important, okay? And if you found value in today's discussion, please share it with your friends who might need to hear it. I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. So connect with me by emailing me at drnick, it's Dr. Nick, drnick, Apostle Paul's Messenger @gmail.com. Send in your questions, And let's keep this conversation moving. Until next time, stay strong in the faith, stand firm in the truth, and remember, you are never alone on this journey. God bless.